and I am very much at the beginning stages of, really comprehending the magnitude of impact that this kind of distinguishing difference between ego and soul really has on my life. And I'm really grateful to be actually on this journey, and I enjoy these conversations with you every week, because it just invites me, and why I really love doing this live, to share this with the world, because it invites more people to also just inquire that little bit more into ourselves, because it's like knowing thyself is the ultimate quest of this life as a being on this planet. And my journey has really spent a lot of time growing up in far north Queensland, and being very active and very kind of physical sports orientated, and very much all about competition. We've got to win at all costs. We've got to do what it takes. We've got to go out there and prove ourselves, and prove it to our coaches and prove it to our teammates, and really play well. You got to perform. You got to do really, really well. And if you don't perform, then you're going to be out. You're going to be benched. You're going to be off the team. You're going to be out of the inclusion of this tight knit group of men, and you're going to be ostracized and outcasted. And so for me, like growing up with that kind of dynamic as a primary focus in my life as a young boy, I really and because I found myself quite naturally excelling in these areas, I realized, I really looked at, because I took it so personally inside myself, that there was an insecurity and fear of not being accepted, and fear of not being, patted on the back and celebrated, and given a certificate or a trophy or a medal, or, so there was like this void inside, that if I don't do really well, then I'm not going to receive love. And so I always pushed hard, and I always tried to, perform in a way that I would be able to be recognized and be seen. It was my way of like being, having significance as a young boy. And so as I grew older, that pattern played out continuously in my life, and it not just happened in the sports arena, but it kind of spilt over into other areas of my life, in my relationships, in my interactions with other male peers, and without any kind of connection or practice to recognizing that there is more to life than just me being at the center of the entire universe. I really, it took me to an extreme length of situations that I had, what I realize now, subconsciously manifested in my life to hit me really hard, to shake me up, and to make me realize, whoa, like I have to be really humble, because I was being humbled in that moment through a course of injuries, and not being able to play sports anymore. So I went through a huge identity crisis, and realizing, wow, I actually don't have that much control of the outside circumstances, but what I can control is what's happening inside of me. And it was really humbling to go through that process of, taking time out to reflect on my behavioral patterns and my choices in life, to see whether I was, often at times acting out because my ego was needing to be praised or needing to gain significance, or if I want to choose to change that and look at, a new path forward that is more about contribution and more about love and connection, and listening, more of a listening into my body, and into my my physical experience, as well as my emotional experience, and being able to express that openly and freely, to move forward, so that I can choose to create my life in a way that is in alignment with what is really going to serve other human beings as well, not just taking what I need to fulfill me in this moment because I'm insecure and scared and in fear, but rather how can I stay grounded in the truth of, you know, our reality and our existence, which is so much more than a physical vessel and a physical being. But how can I, you know, then from that place serve my community more? So I definitely want to highlight the fact here, Yvonne, that I am certainly still very much at the beginning of this journey, being a 29-year-old young man, and learning lots as I from other people like yourself, you know, with so much wisdom of your life and so much practice. Um, you know, because what I've recognized in the cycles of nature is that these old patterns generally reappear over time and they come up again. And having the awareness and the choice to be able to choose, do I want to go, you know, backwards in a sense in my journey and go back to where I was as a boy, or do I want to continue to heal these aspects of myself and forgive, you know, myself and my upbringing and my family and my parents, and really love, you know, the responsibility that it takes to move forward with this deeper connection to the inner calling of the spirit of the human life, which definitely feels